What's up, beautiful people? I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the last video, and I wanted to say thank you to those of you who watched the last storytime video and who sent love and who sent donations. I really appreciate you. I wanted to give you an update and let you know that I did get my luggage back. I really want to say that it's thanks to you all, because I made that video talking about everything and talking about my luggage getting lost, and then I got a phone call from the airline telling me that they found my bag and I could come pick it up. So whatever magic you all were putting out there for me, thank you, and please continue to do it. I really appreciate it. I'm in New York City now. I flew out to New York City for a pre-birthday trip since my birthday is coming up on September 8th. I like to come to New York City around that time. There's a giant tennis tournament, the US Open, going on at this time, and I like to come for it. So I'm here in New York City for a few days for the US Open. And I also wanted to let you guys know that there was more that happened, and it's kind of tough to talk about, but my youngest sister, who's turning 17 in November, she has epilepsy, and she's had epilepsy since about 3 years old, and it's kind of on and off, but as she's moved into her teenage years, it's been more consistent, and I swear she has them like every few months, and she's having like 3 or 4 at a time when she has them, and it's been really hard on her. She really doesn't like having them. And we've taken her to a bunch of different doctors, and they don't really know, which seems to be really common in the epilepsy world, that the doctors don't really know. So they just kind of throw medicine at her, and it feels like the medicine doesn't really do anything, but it kind of helps. And then, I don't know, it's really confusing, and I feel really bad for my sister. Her name is Kylie, so if you hear me saying Kylie, that's who it is. I was going to try not to put her name out there, but I guess it's fine now. I feel like I can't talk about her without putting a name to her. So anyway, she had a bunch of seizures this past weekend, like the day after I posted that storytime video telling you guys about me losing my luggage and my other sister kind of being bratty towards us, which it's fine now, but you know, sometimes you need to vent about what's going on, and sometimes when you're telling the person that you're upset, they aren't really hearing it or getting it, and she's young and she's kind of scared about going to college, so I'm trying to understand it, but I needed to vent to somebody about that situation, and thankfully you all were there to listen. But back to the Kylie situation, the day after I posted that other storytime video, Kylie started having seizures. She had a seizure Saturday morning, and we found her like face down on the floor having a seizure because she came down the steps. It was really scary. We thought she fell over the banister, but looking at the banister, there's no possible way that she could have fallen off the banister because the banister's like diagonal instead of horizontal, and she was like face down on the floor, so it looked like she came out of the bathroom that's on the bottom level and then fell into her seizure, which is really scary, but that's what happens when you have seizures. You kind of lose complete control of your body and then you go into a seize. I think it's described as like a bunch of electric pulses just happening all at once, and that's what happens to Kylie pretty often. She was also complaining about an ear infection because I guess she got some sort of earache at school on Friday, and then she dealt with that earache and ear infection all weekend. We did end up taking her to urgent care for that, and we got her some sort of like ear drops, and we were putting them in, and we got her an antibiotic. So we've been trying to help with that, but my mom and I were thinking that maybe the ear infection changed her like temperatures in her body, and maybe that kind of like triggered the seizures again this time, but the doctor said that they don't really think it's that. I don't know. It's really confusing with the whole doctor stuff when it comes to epilepsy, especially with Kylie. They just don't know. So Kylie had seizures on Saturday morning, and then she had seizures again on Sunday. She had 2 seizures on Sunday, and one of the seizures was really weird on Sunday. She had like fallen asleep, and she had a Sprite in a drink in a cup beside her. She also had water too, but the water was like separate. The Sprite is important because it was sitting in a cup holder beside her. She fell asleep on the couch, and then she had a seizure in her sleep, which is unfortunately common too. And when she was seizing, she knocked over her drink and like spilled it all over the floor. And then she woke up from her seizure and she was speaking gibberish, which isn't something I've personally ever seen with her seizures, but I guess my mom and dad have seen it. It was just weird. She just started speaking gibberish, and she was talking a lot, which is very unlike Kylie. She just started talking and talking and talking. And I think she was trying to explain to us what she was seeing in her seizure. I think she was also trying to tell us, she's like, hey, I did take my medicine. She was just trying to talk to us, but it wasn't coming out in English. It wasn't coming out in words. It was coming out in gibberish, which kind of had me scared because I was like, what if her language part of her brain just like stops working because of these seizures and then she can't ever speak again? But I'm trying not to go there because I can go there and get really scared about things that aren't happening in the present moment. So she had those seizures, and then she was speaking gibberish, and then she knocked over her Sprite. And I remember her like talking to my mom and dad, and she was trying to tell them like, where's my drink? I want to take a drink of my drink. So we had to tell her that she spilled the Sprite on the ground. And I remember her looking up at my mom and saying disappointed in the best way that she could at that moment. And my mom and I were like, no, we're not disappointed. And then we just start crying, because it's like, Kylie doesn't like having these seizures, and it's not like she's trying to do it and then she can't control it, and then she comes out of it and then she's loopy and confused and she struggles with walking, and then she's speaking gibberish and she's like disappointed. And my mom and I start crying, obviously. My dad was really great that moment. He was very calm. He took care of her. He wasn't crying. But yeah, it's been really tough. And I think she had a seizure again this morning. Yeah, my mom texted me this morning letting me know that Kylie came into her room and had a seizure before she came into the room. But I guess Kylie came into the room and it looked like she had some blood on her face, because sometimes Kylie bites her lip or like she'll hit her head, right? But we can't be surveilling her 24/7, so it's really hard. And Kylie's very independent. She likes to just like walk up the stairs and go to her room, or walk down the stairs and go do what she wants to do, or do whatever she wants. She's very independent at her age, so it's kind of hard to 24-hour surveil her anyway. So I guess she came into my mom's room. My mom was like, Kylie, I think you had a seizure. Like, you definitely had a seizure. You can't go to school today. You need to stay home, get some hydration, get some Gatorade, rest and relax. And I guess Kylie really wanted to go to school. So that's what's been going on. I'll try to keep you guys more updated if there's anything like that to talk about, but it's also my private life, and it's very draining for us, especially when the doctors don't really know and then they just keep kind of throwing medicine at her. But Kylie has an appointment for this Friday to go see her neurologist. We're really looking for an epileptologist, because neurologists don't specialize in epilepsy. So I don't know. I'll try to keep you guys updated with that, but if I don't, just know that it's because it's my private life, and I try not to share everything that's private on the internet. I just feel like I need to give you guys an update from the last story time into this story time, and let you know that it did get a little bit worse. But you know what they say, it's got to get worse before it gets better, right? So I'm just trying to keep the faith, keep the positivity, keep the optimism. But as an older brother, part of me wants to move back home. Part of me thinks that maybe I should stop pursuing what I'm doing and pursuing my dreams to go back home. But then there's another part of me that's like, if you aren't pursuing your dreams, are you even living? And it's like, how much can I really do for Kylie, and how much can I really do for my mom and dad? I don't know. So that's something that I'm gonna have to think about and put a lot of time and thought into figuring out for myself on whether I move back home. That was a lot of birds. I don't know what just happened, but I'm gonna end the video here. I wanted to also show you guys this person's front yard that I'm sitting in to film this video, because those flowers are beautiful. The flowers are so pretty. They really caught my attention today. I had to take pictures, and I thought it would be a really cute background for me to give you this story update. And I thought we'd end on a positive note. So that's that. Thank you all so much for the love and the magic and the likes and the comments and just existing. I really appreciate you. I'm sending you love always. Take care of yourself, stay hydrated, and I will see you next time. Peace.